according to recent statistics, 44% of marriages going to end in divorce in 2022. 44%, people. We're creeping up to 50%, meaning half of the marriages that take place in the year 2022 or 2023 or 2024 are going to end in divorce. More than half of the marriages are going to end in divorce. So we're going to go to weddings, and half of you are going to be right when you're sitting at a wedding reception, eating them people food, talking about this wedding ain't going to last, this marriage ain't going to last a year, it ain't going to last 2 months. I told her she shouldn't marry him. I told him he shouldn't marry her. He found her, he married the strip club. Going there trying to get some chicken wings on his lunch break. He had met her and think this relationship was going to last. This marriage is going to end in 2 years. She met him, he was washing cars. I told her that him talking about being a rapper is a pipe dream. He ain't going to be a rapper. He ain't that good. He got a home studio. His booth is in the bathroom right now. And she married this dude. They sitting at your wedding right now talking about it ain't going to make it, it ain't going to last. And 50% of those people that are sitting at your wedding right now talking about your marriage ain't going to last is going to be correct. By the time we get to 2023, 2024, again, 44% of marriages are expected to end in divorce in 2022 alone. But we sit here and look at people and we ask why. Marriage is hard. Marriage is hard, people. I've been married 13 years. Let me tell you something. Marriage is hard and difficult words to navigate. You go through a lot of different things. And one of the things you go through is having to communicate. Communication is a hard thing, and that's a big reason why so many marriages end divorce. People don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to talk. You don't know how to talk, so a lot of times marriages break down due to communication. But there's an even bigger reason that marriages break down, and it's not communication. It's not communication. It's expectations, people. Expectations is the biggest reason that marriages break down. You don't know what I mean by expectations? Allow me to explain, people. You got women who talk about they've been dreaming about their wedding their whole entire lives. They know there's going to be in horse and carriage. You know, they got the white dress and the bridesmaid was going to wear the pink. You know, they knew their best friend was going to be a maid of honor. They knew at the reception they was going to release some doves, or they were going to jump the broom, or they were going to play the electric slide, or the Cupid shuffle. You planned your whole wedding out. And then you watch Disney movies, and you watch TV shows, and you start thinking about the happily ever after. Because when you watch Disney movies, right? When you watch rom-coms, which I'm a big fan of, by the way, you know, shameless plug, I'm a huge fan of rom-coms. But don't judge me, people. Don't judge me. I just like, romantic movies. I mean, don't judge me. I'm still a guy. I like action movies too. But the point is, you watch these movies, and you're expecting the happily ever after. You're expecting to ride off in the sunset and everything to be glorious. That your marriage is going to be perfect. It's going to be picture perfect because you see people, your favorite couple on social media, you see them like, yo, they got the perfect wife, they got the perfect marriage. Look at them. They're always so happy and they always smile on their pictures. They look so cute together. Look at them. I don't want a relationship done. Relationship goals, and you look at your favorite celebrities or your favorite couple that you know and you think you know in real life, but you don't really know in real life, and you say, yo, relationship goals, I want to be like them because they're so darn happy, they're so darn cute. But you don't know behind the door, you know, they're throwing like ashtrays at each other and throwing bottles of glass at each other. They tearing the house up, arguing and fighting, not because they have a bad marriage, but because in times in marriage you go through difficult moments, you go through ruts, you go through problems where you have disagreements, you have arguments, and sometimes those disagreements turn to your wife throwing a pack of oodles and noodles at you. Okay, so maybe that just happened to me. My wife threw a pack of oodles and noodles at me, but she regretted it instantly afterwards because she had to clean it up. And if you ever threw a pack of oodles and noodles after you broke them up, it takes forever to vacuum them up. It just takes forever. So, but the point is, you know, people do things like that. And you go through these issues and people don't see them because all they see is social media. They see the beautiful pictures of smiles, so they assume that you have the perfect relationship. So what do people do? They have the expectation when they go into marriage, when they go into a relationship, they're trying to create a relationship based on you, based on what they've seen on TV, based on what they see in favorite couple when they look for a happily ever after. They want a movie marriage. A movie marriage. You know what a movie marriage is. When you see the person working all the way up to the wedding, you know, they go through their little obstacles and stuff. Maybe the guy breaks up the woman or the woman breaks up the guy. Then romantically, he makes a dash across the country, across the world to, you know, ask for her hand and win her back, or she does it. Either way. And you expecting that. You expecting a man to come sweep you off your feet. Up until a man literally comes and sweep you off your feet. No, I mean literally sweep you off your feet. I mean like kick your legs from up under you and literally sweep you off your feet. You know, he comes, and what I mean by that, sometimes he just literally just, sweep you up and kick you and sweep you up the beat. Or other times, he comes in your house and you have all these expectations of happiness, joy, peace, and then he comes to your house and interrupt all that. You catch him not only eating all your kids' fruit snacks and your kids' cereal, but you catch him stealing your money, your rent money and stuff. So he sweeps you off the beat in a different type of way, where now you're sitting there struggling and getting swept out your house because you lost your house because you into this relationship with someone. But we look for movie relationships because we watch TV shows and stuff, and we watch Everybody Loves Raymond. I mean, probably half y'all don't watch that, or George Lopez, or even Family Matters, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Martin, and you see all these obstacles these people go through in these relationships. But you notice in always in these TV shows, somehow they come together. They have these difficult moments, and within 30 minutes, they always figure it out and they come back together. And you expecting that in your life. Your expectations become, you expect that to be your life. TV shows, movie become your life. And a lot of y'all out there say, no, I expect that. No, that ain't me. That ain't me. I ain't no fool like that. Yeah, you are. Gotta be real with stuff. Yes, you are. You want that happily ever after. You want that lifestyle. You want those pictures where you got people, you post your picture on Facebook and people like relationship goals. They try to be like you, not knowing that, the relationship, does have its rocky moments. And there's nothing wrong with that. See, because that's the issue right there, people. People think on the outside, because inside of a marriage you have issues, because my wife threw a pack of oohs and oohs at me, because she was mad at me for whatever reason. I think it was because she was pregnant and she asked for a Whopper Jr. from Burger King, and I brought her a chicken cordon bleu from Pat's. And dealing with pregnant women, just side note, dealing with pregnant women, when they ask for a certain meal, give them what they want, man. Give them what they want. Do not waver off the path, okay? If they say want a Whopper Junior cheese, get a Whopper Junior cheese. Do not substitute. Bad idea. Get a pack of noodles thrown at you. I'm not sure if that's why she did. She probably had many reasons too. The point is, when you go through these situations, you go through these problems, you express these issues, people didn't look at you like, oh, well, you didn't have the perfect relationship. Pardon my French, but no shit, Sherlock. No, I don't have the perfect relationship. I have a great relationship because despite what we went through, we worked through those issues. And when you're looking at pictures, you understand what a marriage is. A marriage is those beautiful moments and then the moments in between them. And the moments in between those beautiful moments that you see pictures on social media, well, that's the crux and the foundation of your whole marriage right there. Because those are not just the trying moments. Those are not just the complicated moments where you're fighting. Those are the moments where you fight for your marriage. That you truly show how much you love your wife or truly how much you love your husband. Because those are moments where no one sees you. There's no one to sit there and entertain you. There's no fans in the crowd. It's just you and your husband or you and your wife. And those are the moments where you have to fight through all the difficult times. Whether you're struggling with money, whether your husband lost a job, wife lost her job. You're sitting there trying to figure out how you can get food. Y'all just not agreeing with each other. Y'all starting to grow apart and y'all got to figure out a way to find your way back. Y'all got bored with each other, whatever the situation is. Maybe it's not something bad. Maybe it's something with family. Maybe you're just dealing with depression, anxiety for other reasons. The point is, maybe it's just, you've been together so long that you have worked into a routine. But these are the moments you have to dig in and fight through. You got to fight through to maintain that relationship. Some people right now looking at me like 13 years, man, ain't nothing. You still a baby. Let me tell you something. If you feel that way, either you ain't married or you ain't being honest. Because let me tell you something. I know many people that got married the same year as me. And as I started this episode off, 44% of people will be divorced by 2022, by the end of 2022. I know more than 75% of people I know got married the same exact year, the same exact time as me, already divorced. They ain't make it as far as I did. So I just look at 13 years like, yo, this is a huge accomplishment. But I also know that me and my wife had to fight for our marriage. We had to fight. Not because I cheated on her, stepped out on her, or she cheated on me, stepped out, but because times we grew. We grew. We had disagreements. We had to learn to communicate. We had to learn to talk. We had to learn that our problems are not going to work out like they do in a 30-minute TV show or in a 2-hour movie. It's much deeper than that. It's much deeper than that. The knight comes in, he saves the damsel in distress, but sometimes the damsel in distress have to save the knight. And that's the issue. Marriage becomes a thing where if your expectations is only for your husband to come and be your savior, to be the person rescuing you, well, he may be that, but he also may be able to get to a point where he's running on empty, where he doesn't have that ability or the capability of saving you because he drained himself with too much of the dealing with the expectations you have for him to continue to run to your rescue every single chance you get. Because you're looking for the movie husband. You look for the husband to have all the strength and to be a nice, big, strong guy like The Rock. You know The Rock. You know The Rock in the movie, not the Rock with Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, but The Rock. You know, you going around with muscles all in his head and stuff. And you look for a husband like that. You know, he carry you in the house. But, you know, a lot of you women, I'm sorry, no disrespect, but a lot of you women, you want the man to carry your house. You might can carry him. You know, you're a little stronger than him. Or, you know, you ain't got too much weight. You got to relax, though. But I'm not judging. But the point is, a marriage is about giving and taking. It's not about taking. It's not about, 50-50. It's about 100%, 100%. Because with them TV shows and those movies, we get to leave out in that 30-minute clip or that 2-hour movie that leave out is, you got to give 100%. Trials and tribulations are going to come into play. People, outside sources will come in to try to disrupt your peace. If someone sees the happiness, enjoying your life, and that you have a happily ever after type of marriage, at least the expectations of one on social media, then they're going to become interested, not just to disrupt your marriage, but to partake in that marriage, because they may say, your husband look a little too good, a little too nice, he take a little too good care of you, spoiling you? Well, I want happily ever after too, so, hey, I want to get your happily ever after. I might want to take place of yours. I want the Disney movie. I might leave. You know what Cinderella do? She left the glass slipper. She ain't accidentally dropped the glass slipper. No, she ain't accidentally did. She did on purpose. Because you know how women are. Y'all leave something behind, so a man, you can see a man again. But your friend might try to do that to you. Y'all watch outside people. Your boy might do that to you. But I digress. The point is, what I'm saying to you people is, a lot of times we get focused on what we see on the movie screen, what we see on the big screen, and our expectations become what we see on TV. Women expect their husbands to be like the guy on the TV, be the hopeless romantic that even when you fight, come through with the boombox, and say anything. And you're probably not familiar with that movie, but come up with the boombox like John Cusack and say anything and try to win the woman back. You might want your woman to be like Jennifer Lopez and Marry Me, and she comes running across, catching a flight in some 12-inch high heels in a short skirt, running out on Jimmy Fallon to try to find the man to win him back at a math league contest. You might expect those things, but I feel like it don't always work out that way. Sometimes it's not about traveling across the country in stilettos. Sometimes it's about traveling down the steps in your house and finding your husband or your wife and apologizing and swallowing your pride and saying, yo, you know what? I was wrong. I was wrong because I should have not enabled or agitated the situation. I should have known when to just humble myself and know when the fire was starting to brew and not keep pouring gasoline or grease on it, but instead just backed off. I was wrong. I know you asked for Chinese food, and I probably shouldn't substitute the Chinese food for, Chick-fil-A, but I was wrong in that. And I'm being a little, joking a little bit, but seriously, sometimes it's us swallowing our pride and actually coming into the situation and not traveling across the world, but we see it moving. But sometimes traveling across our house to let a person know when we was wrong, when we need to reestablish, establishing the meaning of communication. Not worrying about what our perception is to the rest of the world, but worry about the perception of our house. A happily ever after is more than possible. Having those movie relationships are more than possible to have those happy ever after. But you have to understand those movies. When that movie go off, you don't see what else happened. You left with your imagination of what you choose to create in your mind of what happens when that movie go off. When you see in Brown Sugar, Taye Diggs and Sly Nathan, they get together, they finally, after being friends since childhood, they finally get together. You create in your mind where that relationship goes. In your mind, you create where that relationship goes. So in your mind, they, got married, had a bunch of kids, got a big house with a white picket fence, they lived happily ever after, never argued or fight. But in real life, that situation don't play out. It don't play out because in our minds, it's not about what we create in our mind, because it's not based on our relationship, it's not based off our individual thoughts and beliefs. It's based off the thoughts and beliefs of us as a couple. And that's the issue with marriage. We forget when we get married, we stop being one and we be two. We become one with me, you, and God. We become one. And when we become one, it's important that we exercise the right communication. It's important to understand that there is going to be growth, that there is going to be disappointment, that there is going to be mistakes, that there is going to be arguments. There is going to be moments that you don't like your husband or wife. And that's okay. It's okay. You're not always expected to like somebody, but you're always expected to love them. But you watch the movies, you watch the movies, and we see how the relationships break out. We watch how the relationships develop, the arguments, the fight, and we notice how they always seem to, a joke always seems to bring things together. Something simple always brings together. But we're not living in a half-hour TV show. We're not living in a 2-hour movie, people. We're living in real life. And in real life, we're fighting against the odds. And the odds are slowly creeping up against us. Like our story is, I'm going to say it again. 44% of marriages will end in divorce in 2022, and those numbers are creeping up. By 2023, 2024, or 2025, we will be up to 50% of marriages ending in divorce. That means when people are at your wedding, again, people sitting there saying, man, he even got that woman at the strip club. She was clapping it while he was eating wings. He was throwing those ones, giving up his rent money to her. That marriage is going to end in divorce. He married at a strip club. Or you met this dude, he was the ticket guy when you went to movies. You was on a date with another dude when you met him, and y'all was going to see a movie, and he gave you a ticket. He took your ticket, and y'all locked eyes. And you know what the Flamingo song, the old Flamingo song says? I only had eyes for you. He only had eyes for you. You ain't have eyes for your date, so you left your date and went with the ticket guy. And now people are like, man, you married the ticket guy. You a lawyer, and he take tickets at the cinema. Y'all ain't gonna make it. And that's what people do. They sit there at your wedding and eat your food and talk about how you ain't gonna make it. That's what people do, right? The expectation of you is to not make it. But beyond the differences that you'll have, whether it's financially, whether it's mentally, whether it's someone's past. Because just because she's a stripper don't mean she can't change. That's the thing. A lot of people say, well, in marriage, you can't grow, you can't change. And what I hear when people say that is, you can't change. You can't grow. You as an individual, when you tell me that people can't grow and can't change, you as an individual tell me that you can't grow, that you can't change, that you cannot evolve past the place that you are in your life right now, that there is no possible way of change either because you find yourself incapable of it or you do not desire to change, that you're comfortable in the situation that you're in. But understand some people, in marriage, things is going to change. Things are going to change. If you haven't gone to counseling yet, or if you did, they didn't tell you, let me tell you some people, you're going to change, they're going to change. And you probably say, I'm going to be the same as I've always been. You know, I'm going to eat the same, I'm going to drink the same, I'm going to live the same. No, you're going to change. We all got a birthday. We're all going to grow older. At some point in your relationship, sex is not going to be a thing, not because you don't want to have sex, but because you probably just can't. You know, you're going to get older, you know. Let's face it, people. You might be, if you grow old with someone and your expectation to grow old with somebody, you might turn 70 years old, and you know, homeboy, you know, I'm not looking to judge him, but you know, his wrinkled little ding ding might not get hard no more, you know, and the Viagra might not be kicking in no more, it might not do its job no more. Or, you know, she might hit menopause and, you know, having sex might start to be more of a physical pain to her and it doesn't feel as good. So at that point, you're going to go through changes, even if it's your body going through changes. Mentally, you're going to go through changes. If you're a person that truly grows, and like I always say, when you stop growing, you start dying. So when you stop growing, you start dying. So if you're a person who's not starting dying, but continue to live, you're going to continue to grow mentally. And your conversation is going to change. Your mindset is going to change. Your focus is going to change. Before you probably, you know, was going to work all the time, but now as you're getting older and up there in years, you want to travel. You want to enjoy lives. You want to go to restaurants and start drinking wine. You want to do things that you didn't do before. You're going to go through adjustments and changes. And a lot of times what happens in marriages, people start growing apart because one person is changing and the other person may not be changing fast enough or doesn't see a change or desire to stay the same. Because as I said, some people, you know, who say that you can't grow or can't change a marriage, I hear is, I don't want to grow or I don't want to change the marriage. And a lot of times that's when the marriage begins to die because you got one person adjusting and growing and the other person not. We also have an issue where people get bored in relationships. People get bored in relationships because you get into this mundane, work, come home, eat, spend time with kids, watch TV, go to sleep, do it again, and you get into this routine. You get into this mundane routine where it's constantly no change. You become an adult, you got responsibilities, you got car payments, you got mortgage payments, you got bills, election bills, cell phone bills, you got food bills, kids, and clothes, and doing things is exciting becomes less and less. When you was dating, there was excitement because you got to know each other and you get to know each other. I don't really know you that well, and I'm learning new things about you. But after being married for a while, you just know everything about you. And then, your husband got 3 moves. He gonna come start missionary, then he gonna turn to extend it. He gonna try, kiss on your breasts and stuff. Then he gonna turn you over, try to do a doggy style for a few seconds. Then he gonna want you to get on top. Then it's gonna end, and that's the end of your sexual relationship. All right, that's end of sex. And that becomes the routine, so it becomes boring. The routine doesn't get mixed up, or you gotta light the Yankee candle before you have sex. But it becomes mundane. It becomes a routine that you get into, and you become bored in your relationship. You feel like you know everything about each other, and that becomes the issue. But in movies, you don't ever see that problem. They never get bored, right? It's always some excitement or some exciting things happen where they go on trips and you watch Red, R.A.D. with Bruce Willis, and in that relationship, they was traveling the world. He's a retired CIA agent. They're having all this fun. So you start thinking, yeah, we can have that kind of excitement. Or you start looking for excitement from the person on the other side because you think the grass is greener on the other side. You meet someone else that you don't know that well, that maybe he'll be more exciting or she'll be more exciting because she'll do things that your wife is not doing or your husband's not doing. Or maybe they pay attention to things that your husband forgot to pay attention to. But this is where communication comes in, that you need to recognize and make sure your husband and your wife are understanding and pay interest and show interest in your needs and your wants and your desires. Show interest in find ways. Stop complaining about we don't go nowhere, we don't vacation. If your husband's not playing vacation or your wife's not playing vacation, how about this? You plan the vacation. You start to plan the vacation and you surprise him or her with it. Don't even ask no more. Because you try to ask him, stop asking. Like, you know what? I'm not going to ask you on vacation no more. I'm going to kidnap you behind. That's what I'm going to do. Kidnap you. Yeah, literally kidnap your husband and wife. And I don't mean kidnap them, take them to the cabin and hold them for ransom, call their parents ransom. I'm talking about one day, they at work, go for a weekend. Have a bag, take off that Friday. Don't even tell your husband or wife you took off that Friday. Pack the bag. And when she or he come home, have the car ready, babysitter for the kids. And when they come home, like, yo, get the car. Where are we going? We're going to the supermarket. Why you got bags in the car? What the hell you got going on here? Why you got my luggage? Don't worry about it. Just relax. Just get in the car and let's go. Yo, we supposed to the supermarket, right? Why we on the highway? Hey, where the hell you taking me? But the point is, you kidnap your husband and wife, and you take them on a trip, not planning it. Be spontaneous, because see, that brings spice back to your life. There's more that you don't know about your husband. Like I said, I'm married 13 years. But let me tell you something. While I know everything about my wife, there's still exciting new things that I always learn about my wife. There's exciting new things that I'm still finding out about my wife. I've been with my wife 16 years, married to her 13. Before I would have told you I know everything about my wife. I know every little thing, little secret, every little intricate thing about my wife. And then I start realizing, like, oh, I don't, because she can mask certain things, certain feelings and stuff. Like, oh, I didn't know in that situation you was sad, or in that situation you was happy, or I didn't know this happened in your life, or that. I'm still learning things. It still excites me. It still excites me. But find someone that you love, that you truly love, someone that you can grow old with, because it's more than sexual attraction. It's more than beauty with them. It's a mental beauty that you find. It's not because you're looking on Facebook or social media and you're looking for the perfect relationship. Don't look for other people and try to have their relationship. Try to create the perfect relationship in between you and your husband. But don't try to make the perfect relationship for you. Try to make the perfect relationship for both of you. Listen as well as you're talking, so you understand your wife or your husband's desire. So when you try to create that movie relationship, that 30-minute TV show relationship, 2 hour movie relationship, that what you're creating is something that don't only affect and make you happy, but also make your husband and wife happy. Keep in mind that sometimes your husband may need rescuing. Sometimes your husband, no matter how strong he is, he needs a mental break. He needs to be tired. Sometimes your wife, no matter how strong she is and how good she cooks or how great she keeps the house or keeps the kids, I'm not judging women saying that's all you can do, but the point is, if she's doing that, then understand sometimes she needs a break. Sometimes she just needs a moment out the house where without you and the kids and just need to catch her breath. You have to understand that people need these things. That understand that happily ever after in the movie is a happily ever after because we create the illusion of where we want things to go in our heads. And if you want to create a happily ever after in your relationship, that you got to create not only in your head, but you have to talk to your wife or talk to your husband and make sure that y'all on the same page and working towards the same goal to find that same happily ever after. 44% people, that's the rate of divorces in 2022. We can change that. We can change the tides on that, but you have to believe it. You have to stop looking at social media and thinking that these holes or thoughts are winning and start looking at it like, yo, us married couples are winning, not because we're fronting for the gram or for Facebook or wherever you want on TikTok, but because we understand the difficult moments we go through, and we're still not going to share them with you because they ain't none of your damn business what we going through at home. All you need to see is these happy moments. Our business ain't your business, all right? So what we go through in these moments we expose are our business. But we're going to sit here and keep fronting and stunting. We're not going to keep fronting and stunting. I'm sorry, I'm changing that. We're not going to keep fronting and stunting. We're going to keep putting on this smile because we are happy. And the smile you have ain't fake, it's real. It's because we really put in the work to make our marriage become the happily ever after that we want, that we create in these Disney movies. We create our own Disney movie in real life, and we're creating it for you to understand and see that you can do it. But you have to understand people who are looking through social media, through the lens of social media. They're looking through the lens of these TV screens, no matter how big your TV is, 85 inches down to 32, if you got a 19-inch TV. Understand some people that happily ever after that to be created within you, but don't ever want what someone else got because you don't know what's in their pocket. Find your happiness, find your peace, find your joy, and understand it's a two-way street. You have 100 in a working relationship, and I guarantee you 100% of you will exceed people's expectation of getting divorced and not making it, and you will find happiness, peace, and love, and you will find your happily ever after. I want to thank you for joining me for another episode of the Past to Present podcast. Remember to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Let me know what your thoughts is. Share your story. How long have you been married, people? Talk to people. Let me know what your happily ever after is. Help other people find theirs. And until next time I see you, people, we got a few things I'd say. Stay happy. Stay focused. Most importantly, stay tuned. Peace. Oh, stay married.